Simp and the boys from Atlanta FaZe are looking to really turn things around this season. They got a big dub yesterday after a close game, but aLLeY, when it comes to the game fuel keys of victory, they're really going to have to step it up big this time to beat the LA Thieves.
Well, you know what? In the last two maps we saw from them yesterday, it was a little bit more like the Atlanta FaZe we were expecting to see. You know, it really was Simp and aLLeY taking over, and aLLeY is one of those players that once he's on a roll, it's really hard to stop. And this roster, they are all capable of going on 2 sprees, 3 sprees, 4 sprees.
Yeah.
So I think as long as they come in today with the fire from the last two maps yesterday, they should be fine.
Yeah, and we also saw Cellium have a couple big games in the Search and Destroy. Cellium went off, and then Arcitys in the game too, Search and Destroy. Like, these are guys who are capable of taking over at any moment. You can never count them out. I know some people are saying FaZe doesn't look as good as they have. Well, they could turn that switch at any moment. So for the Mountain Dew game fuel keys to victory for Atlanta FaZe. Also, they did dial in their hardpoint breakoffs. Paris outscored Atlanta 50-0 on Tuscan and 42-0 on Gavutu first hills yesterday. That's not okay. FaZe should be coming out the gates frying with the sub pressure that they have. You saw some people talking about the Simp and aBeZy sub pressure. I think it'll be back on point today, and you can see their KDs as well, 0.89, 0.87. They're capable of way more than that. Simp led the entire league last year in overall KD. We just haven't seen it so far in this game. And then Control was their bread and butter last year. It was the game mode that they won alongside Search and Destroy. In like every single series, they have to fix that. On Gavutu, we've seen when you have to put an AR in either aBeZy or Simp's hand, it doesn't work too well. So they're gonna have to figure out a way to win Control, especially if they're gonna be playing a map like Gavutu.
You're absolutely right. And ladies and gentlemen, it's about time to get things started. And with the matchup that's just hotter than morning breath, these two are going to be very lucky to cover the gameplay. Miles and Chance, go ahead and take it away.
Hotter than morning breath. I've never heard that before, but now I'm thinking about it, and it's certainly staying with me. Pumped to get into this one, guys. This has been something we've been talking about for a while. Excited to see these two teams go up against each other. It's the battle of the Reds chance. Like, FaZe maybe not looking as hot as they should be at the start of the season. They're having a little slow, but Thieves, man, they're coming in clean after kickoff.
This is what makes this matchup like extra interesting, right? It's for the past 2 years, any Atlanta match that I cast, I'm like, yep, Atlanta's probably going to win, like almost assuredly. Not the case this time at all. Thieves have looked like the better team, and this is also the best Thieves have potentially looked since their debut in the CDL. Also a very fun set of maps and modes that we have, specifically because we get Bocage in. I think a pretty important talking point, at least for the Atlanta side of things, is they've been constantly banning Berlin, which means Gavutu has always gone through. Not a map they have had a ton of success on, but Bocage has made it in because, well, Thieves actually like to ban Berlin as well. So I think it'd be interesting just to see if Simp and aBeZy, again, that duo on an SMG map can fry, but that's a long way away. We got to start with Tuscan. Or keep in mind, Thieves right now 5-1 record overall in hardpoint. They might be the best HP team in the game.
They got the reps, and so far they got the kills. That's all 4 members of FaZe down. You're going to find that time. LA Thieves, an opening start that they will certainly be going back over and remembering. That was a treat to watch. There we go. Time their way, Envoy with 2. We will touch upon, of course, the game fuel keys to victory for Atlanta FaZe a little bit later on. But those kills just keep coming, Shots. I mean, it's Simp's birthday today, and Kenny has put him down in church. Not the gift he was looking for.
I mean, happy birthday to one half of the mini monsters, right? But, you know, Kenny, he will just happily take all of your joy away on the day. And as far as the rotation goes, there's 2 players for the Thieves potentially causing problems. Octane at least trades himself out, but Envoy has made his way through. FaZe, very quick, but it doesn't look like they have any idea. And, well, Envoy strikes. That's 5 for him. Eventually gets taken down. It looks like for the Thieves, no one else is going to be close enough to try to make an impact play off what Envoy is doing. You group up, you take your time, and you try again as a full 4-man squad.
And here's the hold now from Atlanta FaZe. We'll see how long they can keep this one going for. Cell on the back. Players all over the front side, and aBeZy winning his gunfights on the left-hand side of the map as well. To the point now, and it's Arcitys went on 4 sprees, managed to turn things around in a nice way. Trying to find a few more kills here as well. There's Kenny on the approach. aBeZy's going to get that one, so streak's still within reach for Arcitys, but he needs a few more. Still a decent hold out of the LA Thieves so far in that first hard point. Second, so far so good. Atlanta FaZe bringing this one back slowly but surely, Chance.
And maybe one more fight for this scrap time. Drazah flying in, but just flying into death. And you see the idea from Thieves, maybe not put too much pressure on the hill, but try to make sure you stagger the push from FaZe as you're setting up on the rotation. But for the moment, FaZe winning all the gunfights. aBeZy's able to pick up 2, and right now, aBeZy is the only man potentially that can make a play on this rotation. Effectively a tied-up game, and, well, aBeZy gets dealt with. Thieves, they've got the full setup. They're looking to make this a money hill.
Yeah, see, they can do it now. Here comes the push from FaZe. Through the window we go. Kenny's going to find 1. Can't quite get the second as well, but you still have hardpoint time being accumulated now. LA Thieves back in it on 3rd. Drazah winning the fight on the south side of the map. That's all him through the middle. Envoy wins his. So FaZe stunned, pushed back for now. Left side of the map, that's where they're going to be coming from, towards that top. And through P1, they're going to push. Envoy's got mid-map completely covered. If anything happens, it's going to be on him to maybe find 1 or 2 out of this. He checks every corner. Hats off to him, but it's not quite enough to get it done. The next line of defense is OpTic, and he's in the hard point. He's finding time, and it is back and forth chance between both teams early on. But I will say, LA Thieves, they got in that first point, they got into the third, and they're still holding the line right now.
Yeah, and right now it's the SMGs running the show for the Thieves, but a gunfight like that, we've talked about it quite a few times. That is aBeZy just stripping away 10 seconds at his one moment. A one-on-one gunfight that can have long-term impacts, but we got to get there first. Right now, a 42-second lead for Thieves. Again, they are trying to work together as a team. It's all 4 players making the push around the point, but they're getting chopped down one by one. aBeZy now he goes hunting, finds Octane up top, takes care of him. In the first push, just going to get stuffed. FaZe trying to claw the way back in this game is, honestly, it's just been a hill exchange, right? You win one hill, we'll win the next one.
It's a lovely thing to see in this kind of contest. And aBeZy starting to heat things up. Drazah downstairs, though, finding the kills. aBeZy, number 5. aBeZy, 6 as well. Nice stuff from him. That's going to be the strafing run in the back pocket. Simp now to pick up the pieces immediately. And all of a sudden, the church is looking a little difficult. This is not what we wanted for the LA Thieves. A break through the front is possible, but they need to start finding the time. 20 seconds remaining at this point. A chance we go back to that scrap time from P3. If you lose this game by 10 seconds in Atlanta FaZe, or even within that realm, you can literally look back and go, hey, man, I wish we grabbed that scrap at the time we did. That was the difference maker. Keep an eye out on that throughout the Vanguard season.
And keep in mind on the minimap as well, Cellium right now, number 1 on your minimap. He's got the bottom left, and yesterday that was his wheelhouse. The pressure is going to be on him straight away, and he gets taken care of instantly. The Thieves setting up the push. It's the flank from both sides. Kenny, the first one in, is going to fall. Now it's just the light up, though. The entire squad. It is the flood through the front. And it looks like so far FaZe deal with it. It's the stun grenade to finish that last guy off. Again, the first push stuck on the defensive hold as FaZe has started to run away with this game.
And FaZe starting to run away with the game. They've got this hard point. It's 30 seconds remaining. Let's go for a quick listen in with LA Thieves and hear them break P5.
I'm trying to I'm getting one. MC is under. I'm playing this time. I put this outside. Cellar window. Arm in. I got one time. That's MC, right? Hey, push out left, fire. Alright. Good time. Let me land on me. Alright, let's break some mid here. I'm too mid. I'm helping you. Front of window, easy. One shot front of window. Absolute front of window. Go mid lane. Alright, I'm gonna pin short. Jump hold her. Alright. Mid lane dead. I can play outside, bro. I can play outside. Alright, I'm pulling top. Top maps. I need top. MC top church. I don't need top. Alright, all time and MC top church. Dropping it on. I pushed that. That's on me, bro. That's you. Got you. I'm in the mid box corner, bro. Mid box corner. I'm mid box. I need help. Alright. Now, that's it. Hit twice. On the bar. I can help. On tree. There you. Nice. I'm dropping. I got it. Mid lane.
Coming back into the scoreline now, a second set of hard points, and chance we're all evened up. LA Thieves managed to take the lead back now after a sweet 4 spree from Kenny. Is this the Thieves starting to get things going?
I mean, think about it like this, right? Like, obviously, the comms pretty much on point. They're making a lot of little plays, but you had Kenny that had half as many team kills as he did actual kills, and the game was effectively tied up. He goes on a spree, and Thieves, well, potentially might be able to take things over. Going over towards P2, though, Kenny, that is his 5th kill in a row. Next couple ones, though, on the point. His teammates not winning in gunfights. And once again, P2, this is where, well, FaZe got, 50 seconds to last go around. They are set up once again for what seems to be, the 4th or 5th lead exchange, potentially, we will have in this game.
Yeah, we like that, though. An exciting Tuscan hardpoint. Kenny still on that 5. That's not going to be the 6th either. He loses out on that one, so streak still to be had. As the kills start flowing through as Atlanta, they're looking fine, but the final moments there's going to be a clean break now. As LA Thieves, with a little bit of time to be had, you still have the Atlanta FaZe members spawning quite close. Unless something crazy happens now, all of them just birthed out of Arcitys there. The whole team just came out of on top of that squad spawn. So backside of the map is still going to be all Atlanta FaZe. They're going to find the kills, find that time, but 10 seconds out, already thinking about third. Left-hand side of the minimap, LA Thieves, that's where they're going right now. And if anything, for FaZe, yeah, sure, you get that scrap time, but it's now the journey across map they're going to need to get. That could be another 10 seconds there for the Thieves.
And this is the start of the push, though, right? You see the Thieves with the setup. They have everything covered, but the pressure coming through. P5 Drazah is there first. He picks up 2. Kenny delivers. And if you get the 4th, well, that would make everything free and clear. Arcitys is now the sole man on the bottom side of the map, but Thieves, I think they're ready for it. They got players top broken, and number 5, Octane, posted in the back. They're ready for the pressure to come on this flank. Simp wins the first gunfight to at least strip away some time, but the trades for the moment are in. Thieves still alive in the hill, and Kenny again on a 5 spree, trying to clean things up.
Self flies through, just gets 2. There's another one to be had here, and it's Octane in the 1v1. This is a big kill if you can get it. Cooking a nade, finding a few more. Time going the way of Atlanta FaZe now. Shoes on the other foot, 170 and climbing, but they still have to take the lead back. Big shots once again. aBeZy's there on the trade as well, and it's 3 for Cell. 3 big kills indeed. Now looking back over towards Church, the last time round it was a little crazy, but this was a back and forth hardpoint indeed, and it is going to be the LA Thieves in first. Now we will see for how long they can hold it. Arcitys has already managed to make it into the back.
Well, yeah, watch the spawns, by the way. Number 3, everyone on FaZe is going to fall. They should spawn in the back right on top of their teammate. He at least gets 1, and there's the 2nd with them. Thieves, though, they're reading this pressure. Drazah is prepared for this moment, wins the first one in the hill, can't quite get number 2. The Thieves, I mean, credit where credit is due, just to try to read those spawns, but the reason spawns are OP is because you get there that fast, and FaZe break on in as we're getting set up. I mean, again, nearly tied game for what, the 6th or 7th lead exchange potentially that we have had. An incredibly back and forth game.
Back and forth we go. The Trojan horse of Arcitys now managed to spawn his boys close to the hard point, and as time theirs, kills back and forth. And again, I say back and forth, it's only one-way street right now as Atlanta FaZe. That's going to be all 4 down. They're going to take that time, and that's a huge amount of time this late in the game. Have to look at the rotations again. Back over to the 5th we go. That tiny little room, that tiny kill box. Get your nades ready, friends. There's no trophies today. This is going to be a mess going in the 5th.
Oh, Envoy found the timing as well, just to get through the steps, and Cellium should get traded out, and that is a clean wipe. Simp, though, on a board. He has had a slow game. This is the time to try to step things up. He can't make it happen, and the bait might be there for one teammate, but Thieves, the hold so far is strong.
Still holding it now. RC trying to be the cutoff. Still got the time going the way of the LA Thieves, getting closer and closer. On your screen now, Octane finding nothing but kills. Here's the play now from Kenny downstairs, trying to keep the hard point in the hands of the LA Thieves, and it is just been stripped from them. LA Thieves still getting pounded all over the place, and it is non-stop here in P5. Drazah, can he find any more? Yes, he does from downstairs. Hardpoint flips again, Cells on it once more. It is non-stop. And again, looking how tight that scoreline is. Rotations come to mind. You have to try to get every second you can here, and Kenny wins it. If he can get this 1v1ing as Arcitys, no, he can't. That's 10 seconds that could go the way of the other team. Envoy's off spawn now, he's got it. Scrap time's being grabbed. Over to P1, FaZe in the driver's seat.
Look at the setup, though, right? You got a player on Godheady. It is 3 players stacked up in and around the hill, and Arcitys can watch over the middle of the map. You get one opportunity to break Thieves. You got to go now.
It's got to go now. Through the mid, 3-man hit, 5 seconds to go. aBeZy finds 1, only to be traded out. Oh my God, Octane, he's the last man up. He manages to get in there in time. There's no one around. aBeZy kills Simp with a straight front. Arcitys now fly, go. No way. LA Thieves. Oh baby, what a start to the series. And that is ridiculous.
Yeah, for a team that came into this 5-1 overall on hardpoint again, Thieves making a statement, potentially the best hardpoint team in the game. The record now 6-1, and with a game as tight as that, I mean, we were trying to call it out as like the game was going through. All the little plays, right? aBeZy challenging out to get rid of 10 seconds of scrap time to strip that away from the Thieves. And that 10 seconds, by the way, he did not want to collect. You also have moments where Thieves did it twice, where they're challenging out P5 just in the final 10-15 seconds, fighting tooth and nail for this scrap, trusting their ability to make these breaks. And I'm telling you, man, little plays like that are going to add up constantly in the matches that are high octane. And I think we could actually go back and look at it. I don't know exactly where we're starting from, but again, Thieves were happy to fight for P5 towards the end. They wanted to put themselves in this situation because they trust their breaks, and it was everybody stacking up, taking their time. Everyone got set up as well before they actually made the play. So Thieves right there, teamwork on point. The flood is timed so well, and you hit out both sides of you. And obviously an unfortunate streak that takes care of Simp, but he gets Kenny with it. It's more of just the coordination in the end from the Thieves. Taking care of business. with a 2-point victory.
It is insane to think as well, like, you know, you've got Envoy holding back P5, right? The rest of the team, everyone runs forward, gets in a position and holds it. If anyone dies then, the chances of them spawning on Envoy are relatively high. I mean, it's kind of a 50-50. You either spawn a little close or you're on the other side of the map to him this. That's huge. So, LA Thieves, kudos to those guys. 2-second victory there in the first on Tuscan. It was an absolute treat. Desert Siege, S&D coming up next. But chance first, our game fuel keys the victory for the LA Thieves. And I think winning by 2 seconds probably wasn't on this.
Well, again, they had the best overall point differential in hardpoint. Again, that's why I keep touting them as likely the best team in the game. It wasn't quite 49 that time, but hey, a W is a W. And Envoy, whether or not he's the playmaker in search, he was popping off, especially throughout the first half of that hardpoint. He was making plays. If he can carry that into map 2, they should be good to go, because I think outside of Kenny right now, the S&D for Thieves individually, they haven't quite been on point. I know Octane's been making some plays with the sniper, but I definitely am expecting more out of the SMG duo for the Thieves when it comes to the game 2 and game 5. But it's really just Respawn on point, right? Thieves, they have been machines. They look fantastic after the kickoff, and well, it certainly seems like they're fantastic so far in stage 1 as well.
20 kills and 20 deaths again. No one's getting away alive. You know, if you're tagged up on the other team, there's a very good chance that someone from the Thieves is going to fly in and get that one extra shot on you and take care of business. But that's a great start for the LA Thieves and a wonderful indicator of how close this series will be, friends. We hope you're enjoying the show so far. Desert Siege search up next. Now, we remember the highlight reels from Kickoff Classic. Of course, we saw big snipes out of Octane. Kenny and Drazah both going wild, and Envoy, the route man, flying all over the place, doing everything he can. But looking at the stats as well, Chance, I mean, I'm not sure if it tells the true story of what to expect now coming up into this Desert Siege.
It's, yeah, I mean, again, very earlier on as far as like the stats go, but also very comparable between the two teams. I mean, sure, I think the first blood percentage phase, if they are that on point, it's always a little bit scary. You know, aBeZy, when he is at his best, he is without question like the highest impact player that potentially we've ever had in Search and Destroy. He is a first blood machine, but it's close on both sides of the board, with the exception of the plant percentage. But I think that just comes down to the maps that you play. We're going to Desert Siege. Obviously, we're thinking about the snipe show. We know what Octane can bring to the table. I can't wait to see the Simp counter.
I mean, we're going to see it. We're going to see something here. And this is a really exciting matchup, again, because we saw Desert Siege played yesterday by Atlanta FaZe. We were on up against Paris. That was exciting to watch, like, from start to finish. So, I don't know. There's a little bit of tape out there, of course, for the LA Thieves to be working on. I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? There's no idea where this one's going to go. It's been non-stop. As Brycey said at the start of this one, was like, you can't predict anything. The teams are all good. The game is very fast. No one has a clue what's going to happen. You can't really predict it. You know, last season there were times with like, this map's going to be a blowout, this series is going to be an absolute blowout. This time round, we're still learning. We're still all accumulating data. And Atlanta FaZe, they're a team that does that exceptionally well. A lot of people worried that, like, you know, they've fallen off, that maybe this is the end of the dynasty. No, it isn't. Relax. Chill out, bruv. Behave. All you need to be doing is knowing that these guys are in the lab and they're working their asses off to make sure that they are the most dangerous team going into this year, because no one wants to fall out of that top 2 spot. Simp's been in the grand finals of champs now, what, 3 years in a row?
Yeah, I think the worst Simp has ever done at champs is get second. So, I mean, that's not a terrible thing to have happen, right? 2 rings already. So, not too shabby at all. Obviously, there was another stat that came out for Simp where he's never lost double-digit series over the course of the entire year. Like, at most, he's going to lose 9. So, funnily enough, the one loss they had at the Kickoff Classic, you're just taking one on board. That just means they win more later on. So, FaZe always a dangerous team. Whether or not you have them at first in the power rankings now, at least in my mind, it's almost an expectation that at some point they will get there, but maybe not if a team like Thieves comes to play. You know, best team Octane potentially has been on in the past few years. Actually, without question, the best team he's been on in the past few years. So, you know, he's ready to go as well.
We will see. Everything's ready, friends. Slight technical delay, obviously, getting us into this matchup. Desert Siege, Search and Destroy, very, very close. We're almost ready to get into this one. And chance means snipes, we know smokes have been taken care of. We won't be seeing those for a fair bit. But snipes have been exciting to watch indeed. And can you break down for the fans maybe at home who's worried about, like, you know, not hitting shots, or maybe the snipe player on the team not getting the biggest KD, why that's not necessarily a bad thing?
Well, I don't even know where to go with that. To be
it's like,
honest.
phrasing it this way is like, you know, a sniper doesn't always need to get kills to be influential.
It is. I think Cammy on Tuscan against Seattle from the Kickoff Classic is probably one of the best examples of, like, once you have a guy starting to find a groove and actually hitting shots, the other team is forced to play around it. And if your guy's hitting shots, it's not easy just to try to, like, snipe back, because if you lose that gunfight, that might just cost you the round. But it's very much of you get lane dominance when your man's on point, and it forces everybody just to make the adjustments. Like on a map like Desert Siege, if you have a guy just locking down one of the lanes with a sniper, I mean, now your SMGs are going to be forced to just play towards the middle of the map. It can be that much more difficult to actually go and get a bomb down. So it just completely changes the way the team on the bad end of things has to orchestrate their game plan.
Here we go, though. We're finally into the matchup. Atlanta FaZe, LA Thieves, map number 2 now. Slowly but surely, we're rocking and rolling straight in the mid. Atlanta FaZe, they will be in the red. And of course, LA Thieves and the white arrows. They're on defense first and foremost. And that opening blood from Cellium makes things a little bit easier now. Atlanta FaZe on attack. You've got Drazah still real close to that B-bomb site.
And they're taking their time just to play for picks. Octane, well, he was able to spot out 2 players. They know the pressure is going to be coming over towards this A bomb site. You see Kenny now wrapping to the back corner of the map, and Drazah probably playing with the top, and Octane finds the pick he needs, and he spots the second player up top.
Oh, Simp.
Simp might have the information, but I think Thieves, I like the adjustments. They're thinking about a flank.
aBeZy upstairs now. They've got eyes on. They can maybe make the play towards that B-bomb. Octane trying to make something happen here. Kenny does find Cell as well, so now it's a 2v3. Simp on the inside. University it is. Shout out Lando. Go to the B-bomb site. We go on the defense. The bomb's down over by A, though, Chance. I mean, that is way out in the middle of nowhere. It's 25 on the clock. And Atlanta FaZe, they're patrolling mid. They're keeping an eye on it. Simp's going to get another one. He gets away with his life. And he and aBeZy roaming together. They're going to be so close. aBeZy's got to stay alive, man. 15 seconds, and he's brought down, finally. Woohoo! But they were running as a gruesome twosome there, man. And that little dynamic duo, if they stay alive a little bit longer, that round changes. You have to recover bomb. You have to plant.
And it is an interesting moment, right? Like as soon as Octane gets that bomb down to the outer side of the map, there's a couple teams not too big of a fan of smoke. Smokes are perfect for covering a line of sight to go pick up the bomb. FaZe not able to do that at all. So despite the fact that they got the first blood, bomb drops in a pretty rough spot, and they were quite able to find the kills to make up for it. So Thieves, strong round. Octane doing what he does best. As he has a AR battle with Cellium on the outskirts of the map. You're just fighting pixels.
Cell's way deep. He manages to get one, and I mean, he seems to be doing fine against those pixels. Gets himself a second, and Octane backs up, try to help the team as they're in trouble. A bomb is down. Octane's trying to get that recovery, but still, it is not an easy thing to do as Simp. Guns up, ADS on the door. Here comes Drazah. Wow, okay. We'll take that kill, 2v2.
That bomb's still down, though, in the worst spot possible. Cellium has to know this. He is still going to be posted up on the bottom right corner of the minimap. And Arcitys can play as deep in his spawn as he wants. I mean, the game will tell FaZe when Thieves have picked up the bomb. There is no reason for FaZe to make any sort of play on the map at all. And that's why Arcitys has just found himself. I didn't know the map went back that far.
Yeah, he can keep going, man. And there he is, way deep. Finds the kill. Drazah down the 1v2. This kill's great, but there's not a lot of time left. He's going to fly at him, and I respect it. But that's another great round. As Atlanta FaZe now, they're going to tie things up. And again, you're kind of hamstrung. Like you're handcuffed essentially, man. You can't do anything once that bomb goes down. If the enemy team knows in a rough idea of where it is, you pick it up. The game tells you. That changes the way teams have to play on offense. Like if the bomb carrier dies early on, you're at a tremendous disadvantage.
And that really is just Cellium again. I think almost every single round on defense, he'll be playing almost the exact same spot. And for good reason, he just murders people when he's over there. So if you can't handle the Cellium issue on offense for Thieves, if you can't counter snipe, if you can't find a way to get that bomb down over towards B, maybe you have to go a different direction towards the middle of the map, though. Drazah delivers with the first blood.
Yeah, first blood's nice. It was almost a second exchange there, but everyone's going to get away with their lives now. Arcitys, ooh. Could have been heads there. Simp. He's been so patient so far. Great awareness. Octane completely caught unaware, and he's going to grab that snipe. And oh my word, Chris Lehrer with a snipe on his B-day. This is something now. He's got himself to this round. Backing on out. Can hear the shots. Drazah from that top position. He's going to be tangling with Arcitys. And Arcitys with that bomb now should be planted. And here we go, chance 2v3. Thieves going to have to retake.
Well, Cellium, you got watching the full flank. Simp, he's got the outer angle covered. And honestly, he could just go play the trenches. He has the snipe in the back pocket. He's going to pull it out as well. But before he could get the kill, Arcitys takes it from him. But honestly, as soon as you get that bomb planted, as soon as you get that sort of trench control, you're feeling great about the situation that you're in. And it was Simp that put them there. I'm not entirely sure what Octane was doing with the sniper on top of that ledge, playing very aggressive, but Simple thank him for the free kill that he got, and he turned it into 2. Just aggressive plays from the birthday boy coming out. One half of the mini monsters, man.
We're going to let rip soon, and let me tell you. At Children's Hospital is going to be very happy. Snipes up for Octane. Early tags was slowing down, pushing back. Not really making any much of an effort there, but A-bomb site looks to be the target for now. A pick would help the Thieves in this position. A little dance around mid-map is going to make things a little bit more exciting. We'll see. As FaZe, full knowledge that Octane with that snipe, they're going to now move their way through mid, and Simp's getting real aggressive. Here comes the stuns, though. Envoy, will he be able to find the pick?
They should know he is in here. That is a brand new angle, though. Can't quite find it, and he gets caught. Envoy there. Nice positioning. So Thieves able to get that first blood, and again, just a pixel fight we have. I think Arcitys probably saw the diamond, like the name tag, and was shooting at that. Well, everyone falling one by one. Cellium for the 1v4. Best of luck.
Dashy's come close, but no one's actually done it yet here on Vanguard. And here's our attempt. Okie dokie! LA Thieves, good round.
And funnily enough, you were asking about like the impact that a sniper can have. How about the impact of Cellium? Like, he's been so on point on defense over towards that back corner. Thieves just stack up A and instead play for picks. And honestly, just a couple of unfortunate situations for the players on FaZe, right? Simp shoots, tries to get out of train. Well, Envoy there just to catch him. Arcitys shoots at a diamond, can't quite find the kill. The trade instantly comes in, and players effectively just falling one by one. But just to tie things up at 2-2. Bunch of offensive wins we've had so far.
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. And Cellium, he's using the Force, I believe, at this point in time, just trying to see if he can feel anything out there. Doesn't feel a thing.
So you get the bomb down for free?
Gets the bomb down for free. There we go. So A plant. Here comes the retake. It's going to be a fast one, hopefully, now for the LA Thieves. Stuns are good. Is anyone close by to get it? Drazah may have seen aBeZy's little feet get over the wall there, but that first blood on a Envoy, that's a big one. And here we go. 4v3. FaZe with the numbers.
Ooh. Oh, they got the corners as well. Simp uses that spot to watch the flank. Octane has to do something impressive, and well, instead gets hunted down and cleaned up. I gotta say, that might actually be one of like the most effective strats. What Cellium is doing, he's wiggling around his automaton, just looking for auto aim through the trains. Miles, I don't know how many S&D tournaments you've watched, but Demyansk, when that map was played, you could get auto aim through like the entire rock face. So the strat was to go top church on defense, try to get auto aim through the rock, and if no one's there, you know exactly where players are going. So you can genuinely just get all the information you want right at the start of the round, and FaZe taking full advantage in another offensive round. FaZe got that 3-2 lead.
Who knows what a smoke grenade could have done in that situation? Maybe change things a little bit. That's a nice opener from Octane. But it's in the game, and that's going to be 3 down. Arcity's last one up now for Atlanta FaZe. Playing it slow. Playing it from way back. B-bomb plant. Let's see what he does. Nice throw. Oh, we saw the glint for a brief second. 35 now on the clock. Oh! LaRue with the jump shots. We'll take that round 3-3.
6 for 6 on offensive rounds. And hey, if Cellium has been a problem in that back corner, I know a great way to deal with him. Just snipe him. Easier said than done, but Octane certainly makes it look easy. A couple nice shots coming through. And I think in terms of the snipers, obviously it's been a big conversation in Vanguard. Most of the time, like, it's fine. It's okay to have. Occasionally players using it have like costed. The only 2 players in my mind that have really stood out is, again, Cammy on the one map on Tuscan and Octane on Siege has been a menace. As you see, Thieves, they don't want that A plant to come through. They stacked it up, but they get caught. Simp finds that first blood.
Yep, first blood. Quite an easy looking one as well. We saw it for a brief second there. Okay, Cell's getting involved as well. It's a plant from Arcitys now by B. Speedy retake. A tight angle to hit though. Cell's just going to keep cutting these players down. Arcitys, I mean, this is the easiest round FaZe could have asked for, man. They got that opening pick, and after that, they fell apart. Thieves fell apart.
I think Atlanta, right? It was what, the round on before when they were on offense, they just like had the bomb planted at A in the first 15 seconds of the round. Thieves stack it up that time. Not only does Simp find the kill, but the bomb is just in a completely different spot. So FaZe mixing things up more dominant rounds on offense. I think we are 7 for 7 for offensive round wins. Actually, that's not true. FaZe won one on defense earlier. So what am I talking about? Maybe 5 for 7 on defense.
That's still pretty good. Kenny Drazah start things off with a bang. 2 down. Mini Monsters say bye-bye. Cell and Arcitys now playing from the extremes of the map on either corner. Almost gets it. Octane now looking to take care of Cell. He will escape off into the desert sands for the time being, and your boy's shooting pixels. He's not doing a bad job at all, but here come the Thieves. And this round is done. There is no way, with the bomb down, and he's going to do anything from that position. He is out there on an Oasis, and okay, we'll take that kill, but I'm saying it, there is no way. 20 seconds now. Nades waiting for these players. They're not going to feed him. They know he's on a spree. Unless they do feed him, in which case I'll be slightly disappointed. But for 10 seconds now, we should close this one out. LA Thieves, that opening picks there from Kenny and Drazah really set the tone. Allowed that bomb to go down. That is that.
Yeah, I've given up on trying to remember how many rounds have been won on offense because I don't think it's all of them, but I've second guessed myself, so I'm scared to throw out a number. But I certainly know that when you're starting to get these opening picks on offense, both of these teams have been on point with making sure you get those conversions. Someone trying to break the mold as we go into this next round. I'm actually very curious as to see what Thieves do on defense because Atlanta, they've hit both bomb sites. They have gone both directions very quickly. So Thieves are going with just the full spread, trusting both Octane and Kenny, the ARs on the top and bottom side of the map.
That's a nice pick.
RC, yeah, just beams him, takes him down, opens up the site instantly.
Yeah, it's so hard now. We've seen how difficult it is to retake this bomb site. Like, you have to cross over the 50-yard line and get behind them. And right now, that's just going to be the plan. Octane's going to be that guy. Deep flank right now. Arcitys up close on the bomb. Tags in one void. Easy pickings. Arcitys finds his second of the round. Octane now last player up, and he's on the deep flank. He's got a lot of corners to check. Uh-oh. And he's got a snipe. This is a weird one. I mean, one with the rat's enough, but he was right in the middle of Atlanta town, and they had him covered. That is now map point FaZe.
Yeah, in Atlanta, FaZe, I mean, they're speed running their offensive rounds effectively. Arcitys just finds the pick on Kenny. Again, it was a map spread for Thieves on the defensive side of things. As soon as you get the kill, plant the bomb, and you are good to go. Retakes on most of the maps we have, maybe outside of Bocage, are incredibly difficult to orchestrate. In Atlanta FaZe, picking them apart one by one as the round continues. Must-win round for your LA Thieves. They're going to A.
They're all going away. They're going aggressively. And if they can get these kills quickly, it might be able to overwhelm FaZe here. Here we go, though. Nades up. FaZe now on the flanks. All over the place. And nice, they get the kills. That's 2 of them. That's going to be a sweet opener. Cells on the 5 now. Not too far off streaks. If you can get another one, streaks on this map are very important. Obviously, very wide open. Cells on the hunt for it. Octane backed on up. Kenny manages to get over towards the B-bomb site. And that's a big kill there from Octane on aBeZy. Bomb drops just outside of A. Kenny gets one as well. So now it's a 2v2.
2v4 into a 2 versus 2. That bomb is still just dead on top of A. Simp's playing corner. She's working with Cellium. And again, you just know the bomb is down. Right now, you could just play a corner and wait. 35 seconds, and I think Cellium, he got spectator. One of his teammates saw him, got the call out, finds the kill streak as well. Octane now needs to get the 1 versus 2. Doesn't have the bomb. Time not on his side.
They're in the court with him. Oh my word, Simp almost got it. But Simp was behind him upstairs. He just dropped down, finds the kill. It's a shame, but it is the round for Atlanta FaZe. Hope for that 11, but that's it. FaZe bounce back. Search and destroy continues to be the bread and butter for that squad. We're all tied up 1-1, and Chance, and how about those offensive rounds?
It's the smallest things that make a difference, right? Like the smallest decisions you're making, like in the hard points of when you fight for scrap, when you rotate, and really min-maxing, same thing. The details make the difference in that S&D. Just the nade coordination. Like Arcitys plays aggressive towards A. As soon as he realized that's where the pressure is coming, he backs down, and I heard like 3 stuns and 3 grenades all go off right on top of the site. You get the bomb down on A, you get the first blood, and the second then falls as well. Little things like that put FaZe on top.
Yep, really do. 6-4 there on Desert Siege Search and Destroy, and we go to our control map now. And mate, it's not a bad run. Not a bad run at all. We've got ourselves a long series. This could get very, very interesting indeed. Highlights now from the Search and Destroy. We got a little bit of everything. Some flanks, some sweet nade kills, and of course some snippety snipes. We will be seeing all season long. Chance, what do we make of the highlights?
Just efficient work on offense from FaZe, I think is the primary story that we need to be working with, right? It is different plays from different people. We had Arcitys finding the first blood, boom, instantly bomb down towards A. Had a round a couple before that where Simp finds the first 2 kills over towards A. You get the bomb down, you're good to go. It really was just dominance on the offensive rounds. FaZe consistently able to find those picks. And again, in that final round, just breaking the mold, reading the push that was coming in from Thieves and playing off it pretty well. Just a very solid S&D game, honestly, from both teams, but FaZe get that 6-4 win.
Yeah, they certainly do. A couple of big old gunfights go their way. That was the final kill in the map there from Simp. And again, that was an opportunity for the Thieves to pull that one back, get that round 11. But hey, man, his birthday. He definitely gets the little bit of love from the COD gods today. Tuscan Control coming up next. Bocage Hardpoint, we should see at the very least, but we'll see if we get ourselves to all the way to that Berlin Search and Destroy. For those of you who are with us through the absolute marathon that was yesterday's games, woo, baby, it was something special, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we get a little bit of the same today. Very, very exciting matchups still to be had later on. Of course, we've got ourselves OpTic versus Røkkr. That's going to be a banger as well. Non-stop action here in the CDL. We're going to take a very, very quick commercial break. When we come back, it's Tuscan. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can. Tied up 1-1 in the series, Atlanta FaZe and the LA Thieves. Now we find ourselves Tuscan control. Chance, we've had a lot of fun so far in the series. Of course, a 2-second game separated these two teams, and the first Tuscan hardpoint. LA Thieves coming out on top there, and an exciting bit of search and destroy. And Kenny, get that yawn out, son. You got 3 big rounds of control to win. You want to see yourselves in that Berlin search and destroy for that game 5. This should be a fun one though, Chance. Excited to see how this all goes down. Of course, Atlanta FaZe, they've definitely been putting in the work. We saw a great series of them against Paris Legion, a bit of a stunner there as they go to the full distance to game 5, but they do come out on top. So this is a team that you can still never count out. Anyone who was hoping this to be a 3-0 smoke show with the LA Thieves coming out on top, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy.
Crazy indeed. I mean, I think, at least for the side of FaZe, again, I don't think anyone is under the belief that they are anywhere near their peak for this game. Pretty much every single team has plenty to learn. Again, even from the Tuscan, that's a 2-point game. I'm telling you, it is going to come down to like min-maxing different like hills and when you want to push for a scrap and how much time is worth it. Like the analysts for all of these teams, I think this year especially so, have their work cut out for them. And even for a Tuscan, I think I've been seeing Carson's been putting out stats of like teams, at least on Gavutu, are like 0 for 8 for winning rounds when they go towards B on the attack. I think Tuscan is not quite as extreme, but a little bit similar of like, it's rare that you'll have success going to B. I think Ravens, though, obviously proved that, hey, if you could make it work, though, get opening break can win you the round, but Thieves right now, nice and standard. Get to A, and, well, they get there first, so Drazah gets the first 2 kills.
You see the opening execution for both teams. Oh my word, Arcitys going to get that one. Everyone's got their preset nades and stuns already. It's early on in the season. It's going to be exciting to see how that develops. Drazah, holy dooly. What did he just do there to aBeZy? Flying, staying alive. Can't take care of Cell as well, though. A zone starting to slowly get depleted. Drazah really was the body blocker there, keeping the members of Atlanta FaZe at bay. But they have to worry about Simp, though. He's in your spawn. He's causing a problem. Drazah's going to cut him down. That's going to be the numbers now starting to thin. Atlanta FaZe, they are still on the defense, trying to hold this one down. FaZe will be dropped now finally on the A zone. Thieves cap that one. Forward they go now. B is all that remains.
All right, Drazah, by the way, he came prepared, like ready to play on this match today. If you go back a few seconds and watch when he spawned, he basically spawned up on broken steps, and he's like, oh, that means someone flanking. Instantly 180s around and is ready for Cellium. So this is a team that, again, they know the game so well. Drazah finding another kill on Simp, and, well, that means you're pushed. You can get ready to start. Kenny can't quite win it. And that might slow things down for the Thieves just a little bit.
Hey, man's cracked, but that little bit of strafe speed there from Arcitys just managing to stay alive. As here comes the wind-up hit, though. And aBeZy, though, he's going to try to slow this down. In from behind, manages to catch the one out. Onto the zone we go. The contest. aBeZy on the prowl. Finds another one. Backs up Simp. They get the kills. They wipe the LA Thieves off of the B zone, and now it's head on a swivel. They're worrying about any players that may be behind them, but they do get the final count there. Now all eyes forward. Here comes the counter-attack from the LA Thieves, and lives rather, are relatively even.
And you got to go back to the same thing, though, right, Thieves? I mean, any player that falls is just going to slow you down so much. So you have to be on point with your coordination. 2 players coming out of P5, and they at least get the trades. So they have a man advantage just for a few seconds. And Envoy, he is flying as it's happening, but all of his teammates fall. Now he's in between 2, and the push gets stopped. You get maybe 2 more attempts, but FaZe right now, they have just been swarming on defense. Like a bunch of machines.
Woo! Drazah once again winning a ridiculous 1v1. As is tradition, he's been doing it since kickoff, and definitely one of the players to watch now coming into the 2022 season. Cell, last pull up for his team, now close to the point. The AR of Arcitys overlooking the tank. You got Simp on the crossfire there. So let a couple players through, lay the trap, and hopefully find those shots. And he does. Cell gets 2. That's another delightful hold on the defense here from Atlanta FaZe.
In all these little moments, like so many players for Thieves, it is like the opportunity. Like if you just win 1 extra gunfight, you can start making moves, but FaZe have just been too strong on defense. The trade's on point, because this has been a very close game in the kills column. But any gunfight like that Arcitys wins makes it that much easier to hold on defense. So Thieves, they're taking their time. They have triple stacked up towards radio. Wait for a kill to fall in their lap. Drazah, he gets the first.
They finally get in, but Cellium now from top plat side. Oh, God, this could get ugly real fast. No, Drazah managed to win it again, but the trades are on point. Kenny now, can you break the wheel? Can you finally end this cycle of push, die, repeat? 15 seconds on the clock. Still trying to stay alive, waiting for the reinforcements to show, and he will be able to hold it for a moment. Here come the boys. 10 seconds now. Watch that clock spin out. Gonna have to make a move real fast. Could it pay off now for the Thieves? No, the kills are there. Got to jump on. No lives remaining. And it was a worthy attempt. You saw the thought process being there, but Atlanta FaZe, wave after wave after wave of kills. They found it. They kept the point safe, and that's their round.
And just great work time and time again. Even the moment towards the end where like the stun doesn't connect on Kenny, but aBeZy's still ready for the gunfight. I mean, they had a couple just well-timed flank. Arcitys had quite a few just big one-on-ones. Like if Octane or Kenny ever opens up the push towards that hill, taking out the AR in the back, well, maybe you're able to string something together on offense. By the way, B-hits, I said they're not often successful, but when you make it work, it's clean. FaZe, all four, pushing through P5.
Here we go, they're flying. There's at least one down, two down now as FaZe. They're going to find the kill advantage. Into the point they go, but the crossfire from Octane, beautiful shots. All that's left is Cell, and he's stunned up, tagged up. Great defense from the LA Thieves off the rip. They did not have the numbers, but the pace and the shots managed to make it that bit more manageable. Here we go, back over towards A as the final kills towards the B side of the map are cleaned up, and it is actually all going to come down to Drazah. But Drazah's looking fine at 12 and 8, locking this one down before the squad can show up.
And the reason why it can be risky to actually go over towards B off the rip, because if you don't win it and you start getting spawn trapped, like even capturing A can start to become a little bit difficult. Now they still got pressure towards the hill, but Kenny takes him down, so it is risky. Like you get gifted A for free off the opening break, but if you throw that away, things might get tricky. Simp though, the fast flank coming through, shoots Octane in the back for free, and that's enough kills that now A almost assuredly will be secured by FaZe. And now the question is, how many kills can you get along the way? aBeZy, he is sprinting forward.
Yeah, still trying to keep those players back. Slow progress though, A. No stack just yet. Stack not as prevalent as it had been in Cold War. More players on the point means to capture that one faster, but they're opting for more map control. But here comes the final stack. Third segment now on its way gone. Force spree for aBeZy. Farquay get Kenny. Oh my! And that's great kills. And now that final segment of A is going to be drained. The defenders will win out. That's a massive play there from the LA Thieves.
B's wide open though. You get all those kills, but look, you just spawn him over towards roof because he pushed up too far. So if you can capture the B zone, you're feeling great about yourself. You got a couple players pushed out towards the back. Drazah has important gunfights. He's waiting for his teammates to go for the push. Well, there's the first. Now you've got the swarm, but two players still alive. That is one tick through. And they're going to stack it. That's the second tick gone. If you get B first, I mean, FaZe, they might have a way to win this round.
An incredible turnaround now. They're still holding it, still have the numbers. Here comes the counterattack from the LA Thieves. They do clean up B, but you got to go back over to A now. Get on your bikes, boys. Run across. Kenny's going to be the only player there. If he wins a 1v1, that's great. A zone gone. Atlanta FaZe, they live to fight another day. 1 minute extra to the clock, 11 lives apiece.
And this is delicate. I mean, you got players just now scattered across the map. Flank opportunities for both sides. AR players that need to go big. Kenny responsible for watching the back, but Cellium, he might be cutting through church. He's repositioned to go over towards teammates. I mean, you have a minute to set up one good play of teams like that to open things up. This might be their moment.
Cell should be dropped here with the trades. Oh no, sorry, take that back. It's Atlanta FaZe now. Forward they go. One segment of B left. 6 lives to the LA Thieves. Over the top they go. They're starting to wear him down, starting to find the kills. Octane can't win it in the back. No lives left. 51 seconds on the clock. Frozen B should be captured. That's going to be the kills coming through in Atlanta FaZe. They win on offense. Both zones captured. That is a massive, massive turn of events.
So Tuscan offensive rounds so far across the league, you can win offense. It's been 34% of the time. 7 of those have just been done by kills, and now that makes number 7 for actually winning on the objective. But I think it really just comes down to that moment. Someone for the Thieves pushing up aggressive after they get the clearance towards A, but no one is there to cut off the players. So everyone spawns up on roof, and they just had a free path over towards B. And I think the LA Thieves, I mean, you just have to have someone at least in radio before you can play that aggressive.
Drazah.
Speaking of aggressive, Drazah finds 2.
Super aggressive, finds 2 immediately. Can't get the third, man. Oof, I was expecting it. Asim has spoiled us when it comes to these kills by Church, but second segment at A gone. A zone has been cleaned up, and Envoy, very unfortunate timing there to just lose sight of that FaZe member, but he's still in behind, and this is potentially very damaging in the long run for Atlanta FaZe.
And I can't tell if FaZe are actually where. No one's actually watching their back, so I think Envoy actually does have the tried and true opening, but Arcitys shutting everybody down. He ticks up 2, and Envoy still isn't popped up in the kill feed at all.
Yeah,
and FaZe still aren't turning their attention, but he's got to make a play at some point, because now you see Cellium. Now he's more concerned about it, at least a little bit. They know Envoy's in the back finally. He makes that opening break.
He does. There's the kill finally. And again, you count those players, you look at the kill feed, you go, okay, we have no idea where Envoy is. Somebody turn around. And that's exactly what you do. Frankly, you should do that anyway when Envoy's in the game. But for now, if you're aBeZy, you find 2, you push out those players, and you slow the approach down from the LA Thieves. 21 lives remaining for Atlanta FaZe, and it's going to be 23 for the LA Thieves. They're on the offense, still trying to make their way in towards B. They've got a couple of kills going their way now, and a little bit of space to work with. But again, they want to do this together. They want to break as a team.
Again, these opening gunfights just on the hill are incredibly important. The ARs have struggled a little bit for Thieves to get it started. You're getting the kills traded back and forth, but I mean, you're just going to end up in a 3v4 fairly quickly. Envoy, though, he's flying. Whoa. The subs are here. They find a couple, and now they're trying to push out that spot. They get it done. Each of the SMGs picking up 2. And now not necessarily looking for the spawn kills, just keep him trapped in the back. Envoy the next one in line. 2 players in front. He's got to find at least 1, and he gets dropped. FaZe, their defense, they have been on point. The flanks are there, and they have cleaned their house out. Constantly on point on defense.
But what an incredible answer to what was a brilliant break from the LA Thieves. The kills don't go their way, and Simp's on the flank way in advance. Here comes a few more, maybe. Shots out of Clayster will be dropped by Drazah, though. Still an opportunity to keep back on to the point, though. You've got 11 lives left for Atlanta FaZe on the defense, 14 now for the LA Thieves. And man, this is a tense Tuscan control chance.
That's a team kill, by the way, that's just not going to help. Again, it takes maybe 25, 30 seconds to actually set up the push. And, well, here's the next one coming. 3 players through P5. Kenny looking through side church. aBeZy up top. He's getting shot at by 3 people and hunted down. Kenny's there to find him. That's the opening kill, but the trades are always there. Selling down low. It's just trades on trades on trades, and you're trying to get your SMGs pushed out once again, but it is so difficult to get this set up. 15 seconds left.
So hard. Again, no trophy to save you from all those throwables, and here we go. Drazah towards the point he goes, not able to get the kill. Teammates still in position, though. Envoy's playing it safe in a corner. He lives for a moment before being traded. That's time. That's going to be it. aBeZy with the final kills, and the clock will seal the deal. It is a 3-0 in control on Tuscan. Atlanta FaZe, they take the lead in the series.
And it's just those defenses too clean, man. I mean, with how difficult it can actually be to convert these rounds on offense unless you're just massively outslaying your opponent, you have one good opportunity. Like when Envoy and Drazah got through and started to push out the back, they have to go off when they're in the spawn. Neither one of the players able to find a kill after that, and I'm not just saying that it is easy at all, but if you can't make the big play in a moment like that, you're just not going to be able to win on offense.
Yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, even looking back at the stats here, I mean, it was a decent effort across the board from everyone. LA Thieves, sadly, will pretty much almost all go negative aside from Envoy, but hey, man, not an easy play to be made there on Tuscan. Atlanta FaZe, man, that was watertight defense at times. Even when all 4 of them go down as well, you get forced back into your spawn. You have to deal with those players in that close point by column. They did such an impressive job of not losing any gunfights. Simp goes on that immediate flank in that final round. They played that defense perfectly, man. I mean, that seems to be the gold standard right now. Not to mention the fact that they won an offensive round as well. Tuscan control. Atlanta FaZe just showed us all how to do it.
Well, I think if anything, I think Thieves showed us more of how not to do it on defense, right? Because the only reason that the offensive round was really even won, it just came down to no one actually wrapped back through church or through their back spawn to worry about B. You spawn them out roof, and then they just end up getting there first. So it is very much a map that it's easier on defense, but if you mess up, you will instantly get punished. And I think Thieves, that'll certainly be something to go back and watch in the VOD and maybe try to figure out the exact details of what the case may be. But other than that, the story really just consistent work on defense from FaZe. The flanks on point, the AR gunfights when they needed to win them, they got them. And I think, honestly, sort of similar to the search and destroy for FaZe of like, they're just playing sort of standard, just clean Call of Duty gameplay as far as Vanguard goes and taking care of business.
We saw what Arcitys sitting on that back tank position, also the back truck position, just posted up, watching the radio push. He was there for about, I want to say 40, maybe 50 seconds, just on top of that truck right in front of us there, finding those kills. And not a lot you can do when you're LA Thieves, one of the finest ARs in the league. He's got his ADS up, the gun's down on you. But that's going to be a wonderful turn there from Atlanta FaZe, 3-0 in the control. We will now move on to another hard point. And man alive, it's going to be a bocage chance this where This is going to be nuts, man. I mean, we want to see Atlanta FaZe in this map, run rampant against other teams. We want to see, I mean, really, we really want to see LA, also we want to see Atlanta FaZe go up against Seattle Surge on Bocage hardpoint. That is going to be the absolute, chaos, the fiesta. That's what we're excited to see. But for now, LA Thieves, we'll see what they can bring. Of course, a 2-second victory in that opening hardpoint on Tuscan was very, very exciting. But Bocage is an entirely different beast, Chance. What do you make of it?
I mean, I think FaZe is a very high candidate for being the scariest team on this map. We've only seen them play it once, but it was the first map that they played in the CDL. They went against Seattle, who, keep in mind, Seattle looking like, what, top 2, maybe the best team in the game, and FaZe destroyed them on Bocage. It was like a 250-150 victory. If you're winning by 100 points, again, that might as well be a 100-point club for a map like Bocage. So they were terrifying, and I think a lot of the commentary or the analysis I've heard from the FaZe side of things is like, don't play Gavutu. Like, it is not necessarily something that is fitting to their strengths, because if you have the best SMG duo in the league, get them on the SMG maps. That is what Bocage is going to be, and I want to see exactly what the Tiny Terrors can actually pull off. I'll make my donation later, but it'll be fun to see if they can put something together, or if Drazah and Envoy can sort of keep their slang up.
We'll see. Again, these two teams go. I totally forgot about that Seattle Bocage match from kickoff. Again, that was crazy, man. That was an absolute blowout. I literally wiped that from my memory because I was like, wow, Seattle did it. They won the series. It was dope. But now here we go. LA Thieves pull this one back, one map at a time. Get us to that game 5. Would be ideal. Of course, we want to put on a good show for the fans. Again, we send nothing but love our way to Octane. For those of you who came in at the start of the show, you know what we're talking about. And for the rest of the team and the entire 100 Thieves organization, you know he's getting a lot of love and support from those guys. We love to see that. We are truly a big old family here at the Call of Duty League. But we're almost ready to get into this one, and a few moments now for the teams to pass some words of wisdom before we get to that matchup. And before we do, let's take a look at Cellium versus Drazah coming now into this.
And honestly, I think Cellium is a pretty good player to bring up, because obviously, yes, the SMGs are a pretty big note, but if I remember correctly, and it feels almost a little bit faded to say, I think FaZe for the majority, or at least half of the Bocage, ran a double AR setup. So I think a lot of the commentary is like, Cellium can actually get crapped. He can absolutely, like, one of the best flex players, if not the best flex player in the game. He can run whatever gun he wants, but even on a map that's this fast-paced, I think he spent a lot of time with the automaton and obviously put in work with the gun. So this would be fun to see exactly how FaZe do, because again, the hardpoint record overall, not the best, but the one they had on Bocage, it was a spectacle.
We'll see if they can repeat the spectacle for us today. Here we go, map number 4. Right off the rip, opening kills. The gate hardpoint, not an easy one to hold. There's a lot of avenues to attack, and so far, all of those avenues covered by Atlanta FaZe. Their early time is going to be dead.
4 down, instantly you flip the spawns, now you get the cutoffs, and again, right, at least for the moment, for this hill, for the opening break, the double automaton setup coming out of Atlanta, you get the setup that they want in 20 seconds on P1. I mean, there has been so many P1s of Bocage where neither team is able to get 20 seconds like combined for the lobby. But FaZe, not a bad start at all. Still 15 seconds they're thinking about fighting for. And right now, aBeZy, he's going to get it. 2 kills for him. His teammates have rotated. This is the dream of a start right now on this map.
I mean, this is starting to get dangerous. Over to the second hardpoint we go towards tanks, and Atlanta FaZe already in there. You're going to see Envoy now try to hit the flank, but who's all over it? It's aBeZy. You know this player's tendencies. You don't check the corner. aBeZy's going to get it. The trade's going to be there immediately, but still the damage is done. And the alarm bells have been rung. You know which way the LA Thieves are coming from. Can they overwhelm the hard point? Yes, they do. Beautiful stuff. But back at it we go again. Envoy, last player left up. Here come the quick reinforcements, and it is non-stop action here on Bocage. Hard point still unoccupied. The kills feed, though. Back in red and white we go.
And again, just to continue with the absurdity, there are plenty of teams that at times will be running a 4 MP40 setup, and in FaZe, they have to be the only ones that go 2 and 2 like this, because I think Cellium has kept it out fairly secure for the final 30 seconds of this P2. Kenny might be trying to make a play just to get the guy off it in the final few moments, but he gets caught. FaZe have done their homework. They're prepared for this, and this is a phenomenal lead. We're 2 hills in, and again, this is the dream right now for Atlanta FaZe.
You set yourself up for victory when you let 2 of the finest submachine gun players in the land roam. Cell with the sweet shots on a Drazah there. Envoy with a pickup. Here comes the hold now from Granny's. Third hard point in the rotation, and LA Thieves have got it for now. Octane down low. Drazah upstairs. Spawns through mid. They're going to be trying to finding something. aBeZy, through the front door we go, and here comes the break. Atlanta FaZe are finding the kills, and Thieves, they may win a couple of fights on point. The spawns are still close enough, so you've got to try to deal with these players as and when they fly out of spawn. LA Thieves holding it down still. Got to get a player back in the point, though, as once again, Grandmas, it is a party down there, friends. Absolute chaos ensues.
They're getting all the cutoff kills, by the way, Atlanta is. You saw Arcitys actually flooding around the back just to try to be that guy. And it seems like even through the chaos of the trades, Atlanta putting in work. Look, this is the team in my mind to study, I'd say, for the Bocage, right? They do it differently than everybody else. And right now, I mean, they're setting themselves up potentially for another dominant win. I know we're only 3 hills deep, but they're looking different.
They're looking very good indeed. Final few seconds going to go the way of the LA Thieves. They have yet to really accumulate any hardpoint time in any of the points we've seen so far. It's all been scraps. Like over the barn. Next up, and it's going to be Atlanta FaZe in there once again. Drazah, what have you got on the approach? Trying to find at least something through the back, and he's playing it slow and sensible. A couple of shots. There's the first. Can't get any more. His teammates are on point. Atlanta FaZe once again win out. And who is it? It's aBeZy, and it is Simp. And they are non-stop in the kill feed. They are winning the fights up close and personal where you love to see it. Let's see what the birthday boy's going to say for himself with a very quick listen in with Atlanta FaZe.
Drazah's crouching on He's back half one time. You should have us. Yeah, I'm gonna stay out. I'm at time. I'm looking mid. I'm trying to. He wants secret. Behind me, back door. Watch out. Back door. Yeah, try to make sure I'm left. Oh, yo, I have Sam is right. I have to get time off, right? I'm gonna get time. We need help. They're gonna be our main channel's back right. I'm trying to get time. I'm needed. One more gate. He's already on street. I want to help. He shot me. Another street shot me. Drop right. Nade on top. Get straight right now. I'm trying to get it. Stay on time. Push up. Go. Pinch. You can kind of go deeper. You can push up.
Frantic comms chance, lead still developing. They've got a lot of control, and I mean, I'm just trying to piece together like the absolute pandemonium that is this map, and what the best way to really hold these kinds of points up.
I mean, honestly, I would just say that's a clean rotation, right? Anytime you're hearing in the callouts your team telling you that you need to pick something up, and you got a guy like Simp be like, "No, it's fine. I already got that." That's when you know that your team Ken is on point. When multiple guys are thinking ahead of the game, but for the moment, Kenny maybe trying to heat up just a little bit to fight for this little bit of scrap time. The final 10 seconds should go their way, or maybe not. The nade coordination is there just to strip away that extra little bit of time. And they were min-maxing on Tuscan. If FaZe is putting things like that together as well on Bocage, again, at about a 60-70 point lead for the moment. Now we go back to the mixiest hill of all time in P1, where Thieves, they're here first.
They're in first, and they're holding it for a while. That final kill there from Simp's going to stop it for the time being. But again, back to it. Cell from upstairs now. Eyes on. Kill feed looking good for the LA Thieves. And again, they're still trying to play for that top side of the map as well. So accumulate as much time as possible. All good. Cell's going to spoil that for now. But again, they keep that top side of the map covered. They get that rotation. And man, if once again, it's another clean 4 down as FaZe. This is all their time.
And just so quick on the rotation, Arcitys already in it. You can just see Envoy like sprinting into it because he's used to the timings being a little bit different. It's got to be tricky to play against a 2 AR setup on Bocage. If they're the only team that does it, like, how can you be prepared for how much differently it plays? And they have such a ridiculous setup. Cellium is pushed out all the way towards this, like, top tank. He's shooting all these players for Thieves and calling them out as they push into barn. But FaZe isn't giving up those back left spawns. They have so much pressure on the map that, I mean, they've almost found a way to organize the chaos and slow the game down and buy these guys in this P2 hill so much time, though. A couple big gunfights for Thieves to get the players out. And Drazah on the flank. The break might be in, but only for a moment.
And the spawns are good for Atlanta FaZe. Have they somehow managed to bottle lightning here on Bocage? Cell with a close push as the clock starts to tick away. And LA Thieves are still stunned, unable to really make a dent on that scoreline. Here comes the push. Couple of kills now from the LA Thieves, and they have been wiped clean once again. It's a long-range fight there, the little bit of help from Octane at distance, but not enough to really get on the point, and it's Arcitys soaking up that time. Thinking about rotations as well, 15 seconds out. There's no way you're getting this scrap time for the LA Thieves, but they're going to try to play for Grandmas, and aBeZy's there, and he's making it hard for him.
And look, Miles, I'm just going to slow this down and just think long-term on a map like Owakening. Like, it has almost been a meme from the pro players about how crazy aggressive it is and how flood-heavy. And again, how many different teams are running a 4 SMG setup? Well, here you have Atlanta FaZe. The first time they played it, they took down Seattle in dominant fashion. Again, Seattle has been playing incredible so far. Right now, they got a 100-point lead, dominant once again, and they're doing it in a different way. I don't know if they're trendsetters or if they're the only kind of team that can pull this off, but when everyone's been complaining about a map like Owakening, FaZe apparently, or maybe have figured it out. I think it'll just be fun to see exactly how this plays as the year goes on.
Well, we'll see. The kill feed once again,
Just
all
dominant.
Atlanta FaZe. 200 points now crossed. This is it. Match point for Atlanta. 50 more seconds is theirs, and they walk away with the win today. Final contest now towards the bottom side of Grandma's as they're looking across the map towards Barn, and it is going to be LA Thieves in position to hold it for now. Envoy, a couple of kills going his way, and this is all right. Better work, keep them back, trying to find the kills, keeping the members of Atlanta FaZe as far on that right-hand side as possible, and have... Oh, no, not anymore. Number 4's out. There you go. That's going to make things a little bit difficult as he spawned from behind. Simp's going to now cause some real problems for the LA Thieves.
Yeah, that is honestly, that's got to be such a tilt-worthy spawn when Thieves go and watch that back, right? They actually at Octane, like, pushed out towards Røkkr, trying to get the cutoffs, nice map spread, and then Simp just spawns in the back. I'm not saying it is easy to figure this map out at all. But again, FaZe maybe just have something a little bit extra. Clearly something, you know, a bunch of teams are going to have to take a look at. And this might honestly turn into an auto veto against FaZe, at least over the next couple weeks as teams learn and grow. But right now, this is more of just a victory lap time, unless Thieves can string something serious together.
I mean, serious is one way of putting it. We're talking about something truly legendary at this point from the LA Thieves to pull off the win here and sell on a 6. And the moves like that, oh my. They're not going to win it here. They have to go down to the river. LA Thieves already in position. Kenny just gets absolutely destroyed. And hello, glide bomb. Yeah, thanks. I'll have it over by the site. Yeah, on Drazah. Yeah, that'll do it. We'll take care of him. Howdy doody. Takes care of Arcitys as well. But that's an open point for now. LA Thieves still a little closer. The man alive chance. It is just a display from FaZe.
Well, this is a money hill that I was going to say maybe you could lock down for a bit of time, but already the swarm is in from FaZe. Maybe Cellium just a little bit too twisted just in general to be a standout player on this map. Shots like that from Arcitys. I mean, just genuinely, it seems like one bulleting people on this map. And even on a money hill like Røkkr, FaZe find a way to bully themselves, get inside. Easy kills for aBeZy. 4 spree for him is they're looking to end this game here. 250 to 136 is going to be that final score. Atlanta FaZe dominant on Owakening.
And for all those that doubted them, myself included, you can never count Atlanta FaZe out. The more time they're going to get in game, the better they will become. And you can see across the player cams, they're feeling fine right now. A 3-1 victory for FaZe. And LA Thieves, I mean, Owakening wasn't great. The Tuscan was a 3-0. The Search and Destroy was, you know, pretty decent. But when it comes to that first game, though, I mean, the fact that they only won it by 2 seconds, where does this put FaZe for you now in the overall power rankings? Are they way back up there now? Are we seeing, you know, the FaZe we expected at the start of the season?
You know what? I think honestly, and I've seen so many hot takes like from the community for a bunch of different teams. I think we're just at sort of like a lack of like stats and like maps. Like we don't know exactly what maps are going to be great for these teams. Like imagine trying to do a veto process just based on like scrims. Like if you've never even played Atlanta in scrims, how do you know what maps to pick and ban and what auto vetoes our team's going to have? I think we need to see the game develop quite a bit more because I don't know. Outside of Seattle and Toronto right now, I just think it is a bloodbath of a bevy of teams trying to work their way into the top 4.
Yeah, we have highlights, of course, from that Owakening, and it was a real show. Cell doing some wild and crazy things, and I mean, opening things out. FaZe looked strong from the get-go. First hard point was amazing. Second, they had that brilliant rotation down, and it was really only until third that we saw the Thieves pick up any substantial time. But even then, man, it was seconds at a time. Nothing really to write home about. The kills weren't bad, but I mean, there's going to be a tweet or two about pings. There has to be from the mere fact that LA Thieves are playing from LA and Atlanta FaZe, they're playing from Atlanta. There'll be a server in the middle. Everyone does the best job they can geographically and, of course, with the complications around internet routing. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, just the synergy that the Atlanta FaZe team has, you can't count that one out. It probably, how different would this have been online if they played? You never know, but you still have to give the favored position to FaZe, man. The teamwork is just sublime.
Yeah, and you talk about ping, I think you're faded. I think one of the largest differences we've had is like 15 or something like that. I know some teams, there's moments where like the pack, like I'm not saying it's perfect, but I don't think this plays out any differently on LAN online, at least like that Bocage. I think FaZe, at least on that map, sort of the trend centers. And again, I'm going to hammer it home. I want to see how the meta develops and like if any teams actually try to run 2 ARs, because it might actually turn out that FaZe, as the year goes on, might turn into like a 4 SMG team. But at the very least, I know that it plays so much differently when you're just head smashing into 4 SMGs or 8 on the map compared to playing against FaZe, who's running that 2 AR setup. Like your timing is going to be messed up. It's like everything is going to play so much differently that I don't know. I think Thieves, if nothing else, are just probably confused of like it's so different than anything we've experienced. Like, what do we even do?
What do we do indeed? Well, trendsetters indeed. That's what they do, man. They just change the game every time. Desk. Bocage was a blowout. Let's be real.
Oh, completely. So LA Thieves won the first map, and then it just looked like Atlanta ran away with it, and rightfully so. 3 maps in a row, it was incredible. And aLLeY, I mean, what happened? LA Thieves, they looked really good on Tuscan Hardpoint, and they vanished. They Houdini'd us.
Well, on Tuscan, I mean, it was really Kenny and Drazah and Envoy that was seriously turning it up. And going into this series, I really thought, you know, Envoy was going to have to be the one to pick it up from the Kickoff Classic coming into this match. And he did right off the bat. They were early on rotations in Tuscan. And I think that's what really outplaced them when it came to Atlanta FaZe in that first hard point. But after that S&D, man, it just seemed to start going downhill from there. And when it came to Bocage, aLLeY just weren't rotating. I was just sitting there like, oh my gosh, why are we still pushing this? You need to get deep for P2. Nobody was ever there in the back. So unfortunately, they did end up holding the L.
You're right. And Cellium definitely was the reason why they held that L. Ending the series with 34 kills, the guy was incredible, right? And Nameless, when it comes to Atlanta FaZe, you love what you saw when it came to their respawn games.
Oh, it was beautiful. And honestly, it was only a matter of time before these guys figured it out. aBeZy also had a fantastic series when they got into that search and destroy. There were a couple of mistakes that they'll go back and figure out as well, where, you know, they weren't getting the bomb down quite on time. But when it got to that control, it was lights out, perfect gameplay on Tuscan and into the last map. Their defensive stands at B on Tuscan were perfect. They weren't even getting pushed up into P5 as well. They were doing it from the B point, which is extra impressive. And then the offense that they had, where they got 2 ticks of progression on A and B to start off that side, it was beautiful. The teamwork was there, the communication was there, everybody stepped it up big time. And Cellium, for me, so far on this team, has just been the best since kickoff. He's been killing it in that flex position. Clearly loves the automaton. The guy's been lighting it up.
Hey, Nameless looked at me when we were watching in the back, and he said, yeah, it's Bocage Hardpoint. It's over. Atlanta got it. It was at the beginning of the game. aLLeY, we heard about control when it came to Nameless, right? But what about Hardpoint? What did you feel was good about Atlanta FaZe when it came to that?
When it came to Tuscan, I mean, the fact that they were still able to break in after LA constantly had the early rotation. They were constantly winning the early rotation gunfights and had their setup and hold, and Atlanta FaZe just broke through it. Like, it was easy. And that's why that match was so freaking close. And Simp was actually having a really slow start. So the fact that it ended 250 to 248 is really a test to how good Atlanta FaZe really are. And then obviously we saw no Bocage, man. Simp and aBeZy, they woke up, man. It was the mini monsters running around the map and just outslaying everybody.
Right, Nameless. When we were watching the final seconds of Tuscan Hardpoint, the very first map, it looked like LA Thieves were going to throw it away, right? Then they came back and they won it at the last second. So you said that was also similar to something that we saw in the past. When
It was so similar. It was the P5 situation when they played against Toronto, where they threw their lives away and didn't fully rotate and set up. But this time they end up getting it done. FaZe spawns all the way out, and you know, Thieves were able to get that win there. And then going to the search and destroy, Thieves also had a couple opportunities where they could have won that series or won that map. Excuse me. There was a couple clutches where Octane and Drazah were left in a 2 versus 2 versus Arcitys and Cellium. You just got to let them plant the bomb. I thought Thieves let a couple of those rounds get away from them. If they just slow it down and let the game come to them, maybe they win it next time around. And this series could have been totally different. But maps 3 and 4, lights out. They weren't touching FaZe. FaZe looked ridiculous.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time for the Game Fuel Victory Spotlight interview with the one and only aBeZy. Get that man on the screen. aBeZy, what's up, dog? I have a question for you. Atlanta FaZe, you guys had a kind of a slow start in the preseason with the Kickoff Classic. A close game yesterday. You lost the first map today, and then it seems like you guys found your mojo. You found your sauce, right? What really sparked things for you and your team?
Honestly, I think it was the control offensive win. You know, we were all hype after that. We were like, oh my god, we won an offense, because I feel like offense in this game is very hard to win. So whenever you pull out an offense win, you just have so much momentum going into the rest of the map and match.
Well, talking about that offensive win, whose call was it after you got wiped at A and you were like, you know what, there's so much pressure over here, they've left B completely open, and making that full push and getting that tick and ended up winning you up the offensive round? Was it kind of a team effort, or was somebody like, hey, yo, let's just go take B?
That was actually Chris Simp, because he spawned like roof side of the map. So he's like, yo, let's just all go B right here and try to like stack point and get as many ticks as we can. So we went over there and like got like, I think 2 or 3 ticks, and then managed to rat back to A after that, cap A, and then we only needed 1 tick left. So, and then we finally like capitalized on that at the very end of the map.
Well, aBeZy, congratulations on the win. You guys are looking a lot better. I want to ask you, what was the reason for the slow start in Vanguard? You guys did not seem like the World Championship squad that we saw last year.
I mean, I think it just took time to like find our footing, and it kind of happened like last year too in the preseason. I think we kind of just like fell flat, and like our communication wasn't on point in the preseason. So I'm glad that, you know, we started the actual season off like strong, and our communication's like slowly getting better and better. So yeah.
All right, Mr. Tyler, a.k.a. aBeZy, thank you so much for the interview. But one more thing for the fans out there that are cheering you guys on. I mean, the esports team of the year. You guys have been phenomenal so far. Can't wait to see you tear it up again this year. Tell the fans what they can look forward to when it comes to you and your squad this year. And hopefully, might see some more dominance, right?
No, yeah. I mean, you know, appreciate all the support as always. You know, we're going to do our best to come out here and, you know, try to get a major win for the first major. So, but I appreciate, like I said, we all appreciate all the support and love. So thank you so much.
No, thank you, man. You have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time, all right?
Thank you.
No problem. Nameless, another good series. We have one more series to close out the day.
We do.
The Game Fuel marquee matchup of the day. If you were to get the crowd hype real quick, the people at home, about OpTic Texas versus Minnesota Røkkr, what would you say?
Can OpTic Texas get the first win? That's what we're all at the edge of our seats for. It should be a good one. We got it coming up on the other side of this break, Belly.
Hey, you got that right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more series to close out the day. Thank you so much. The CDL kickoff weekend has been phenomenal so far. 3 days of nonstop heavy CDL action. From Game 5s to round 11s, we see Titans face off against each other match after match. But coming up next is one you definitely do not want to miss. We'll see you guys soon to close out the day with the Minnesota Røkkr versus OpTic Texas.
Duty League is brought to you by Zenny Gaming. Armor your eyes with Block's gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenny.com/CDL. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
The prophecy will be told. You will not escape your fate. When the cold wind blows.
Hello, and welcome back. For those of you at home, I just want to say we love you and you're beautiful. And because of that, I want to give you guys a treat right now. This is our last series of the day, and of course, it's our Game Fuel Marquee Match of the Day. I'm your host, Felly, breaking things down with wonderful aLLeY, and also my man's Nameless. And for this match right here, I am so excited because the boys... Sorry about that. Because the boys from Minnesota will face off against OpTic Texas and aLLeY. They're looking to win real big.
They are, and you know what? It's funny because both these teams really need to work on respawn, so I feel like that's what this series might end up coming down to. We saw OpTic struggle a little bit yesterday in Minnesota, obviously in the Kickoff Classic, took that L against the New York Subliners, but you know what? They're a team built around chemistry. They stuck with their roster from last year, and they're hoping it works out.
Right, and Nameless, when it comes to this team, if the boys from Minnesota want to rock OpTic Texas, what will be the game field keys of victory for this squad?
Now look, we haven't seen too much of the Minnesota Røkkr in this game just yet, right? But from what we did see is they played against New York at the Kickoff Classic, and they lost that map in map 1 hardpoint and Bocage when they outslayed by 22. Clearly the teamwork wasn't there. There's still so much that we need to learn about this Røkkr team in Vanguard. All we've seen so far have been scrims, a couple of those here and there, and then that one loss. But what we did see in that is that MajorManiak played fantastic as that main AR player. So today I'm hoping that they come a little bit stronger in hardpoint if they are slaying like that to capitalize on that and win that. And when it comes to the search and destroy, we know what Røkkr was capable of doing last year in search and destroy with some of the elaborate strats that they had, getting bombs down early. I'm excited to see some of the looks that they bring into today's match.
Yeah, I personally feel like MajorManiak has the potential to be an absolute demon in the lobby, and they're going to need to bring it against OpTic Texas, a team who has kind of been struggling lately. Nameless. They're not looking as good as we expect them to be.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, when you look at OpTic Texas, this is a team that is star-studded, stacked with players. Honestly, I expect them to come out and win this match. Would I be surprised if Røkkr won? No, because what we saw out of OpTic Texas yesterday was not great, especially when it got to that game 4 in Berlin. I keep talking about it. It was extremely sloppy. These guys need to be setting up a lot better and putting their superstars in positions to slay. Shotzzy as well, he's a guy that I expect to be popping off in that SMG role. Did not have the best performance overall in that series. The only player that played great, in my opinion, was Scump. He was the one making plays, so I need Shotzzy as our game fuel featured player to step up today and get back to MVP form.
Right, and aLLeY, if OpTic Texas want to make their fans happy, you know, the green wall, they're hungry for this right now. What are their game field keys of victory?
Well, they got to execute offensively in S&D. See that stat line? I mean, 35% offensive win rates, ranked 11 out of our 12 teams, but they have a 67% defensive win rate, which ranks first out of our 12 teams. So on defense, they're basically almost guaranteed the round, but they got to get a little bit more aggressive when it comes to search and destroy. You got Shotzzy, iLLeY, Dashy, and Scump, bro. This is an aggressive team, so I'm definitely expecting them to come out when it comes to this stat line and rebound from a weak slaying performance against London. Again, London seriously has attested to how good that team actually is, but this is OpTic, right? We're placing them top 4 in our power rankings. They got to rebound from a 0.95 overall team KD.
You know, I feel like when we take a look at the team, I mean, you got Shotzzy and Scump who go just pop off entirely. Dashy with the scope on search and destroy could be nasty, but you know what? I'm ready to see this game go down. So for the last series of the day, the game field marquee matchup, we got the boys from OpTic Texas ready to go up against the Minnesota Røkkr. Casters, take it away.
Yes.
He pulled a me.
my thoughts, I am so excited for this match because we have on one side Minnesota, who are tremendous when it comes to their talent on their team. They obviously were a team that stuck together going from last year to this year, but their opening at kickoff just wasn't it. They came out like Nameless said on the desk, outslaying in hardpoint, and they're losing. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm looking at them to improve there. If you're going to outslay, you need to be able to hop on that hill time and close out the game. And then on the opposite side for OpTic, I feel like OpTic yesterday, it was such a close series between them and London. It just came down to some crucial plays, especially in the hard point. So for both of these teams, I feel like this series is going to come down to both hard points. On one side for OpTic, are they going to rotate? And on the opposite side for Minnesota, are they going to hop the hill?
Sounds good, my friend. Yes, here is our Game Fuel marquee match, maps, and modes. It's pretty easy to remember. You got Tuscan Hardpoint, Tuscan Search Destroy, and Tuscan Control, followed up by some Berlin in Game 4 and Game 5. You have short-term memory like me. It's going to be easy to remember. Just 2 maps, and that is it. Apologies for the mic being muted off the rip, but we're here and we're back. Jay, we cannot understate how important that this matchup is, not just because it's the final one of opening weekend, but also because both of these teams in search for their very first win of the season. It means a lot for Minnesota, given their schedule. They have got some big matches still to come. They've got Seattle, London, Atlanta, and the Guerrillas. Meanwhile, on the OpTic side, we were looking at this team, Jay, to be already 1-0 coming into this. We were going to think that, hey, this team's going to be confident. They're probably going to have a 2-0 week. Not at all the case, right? They come into that match versus Ravens, reverse swept, and now we're not sure what to think, my friend.
Yeah, they're just starting so slow into series. Like, when I think about this OpTic team, when it gets down to those crucial moments, because they had a lot of them yesterday versus London, round 5s, round 11s, even towards the end of that first map on both cases, they didn't even get to the final score. It just comes down to, if OpTic in those crucial moments, someone needs to step up as a leader. And that's just something that I've been thinking about for the last couple of days when I think about this team, is that who's going to be the guy that's calling the shots to close out the games? Because when I think about this roster, every single player on this team has been a role player. They've always had someone in the back of their ear that's going to be giving them the game plan. When you think about Scump, he always had Crimsix or Form in the back of his ear. And then for Shotzzy and iLLeY, you always had Crimsix. Like, they always had the guy that was going to step up in those crucial moments to make those calls in those big moments. And they are going to need it today because Minnesota, they're coming off of a difficult loss at the kickoff, and they're looking to bounce back strong here.
Yeah, and the one thing when we talk about the Røkkr, great teamwork a lot of the time. We'll see how that is tested today. But, hey, like I said, when we talk about the coaching staff from the OpTic Texas side, we know they've got 2 great minds in both Rambo and Cinder trying to focus this team in. Same thing can be said for the Minnesota side, right? They have not played a match yet. This is their very first one here in this season. And the biggest part about that is that they've been able to watch that OpTic tape. I'm sure they've been watching all of the VOD that they can. And like I said, with not just great coaching staff on the OpTic side, but for Minnesota as well, you've got some great minds there in both Saint and Looney.
Yeah, so the 2 players that I want to focus on throughout this series is obviously going to be our Game Field feature player in Shotzzy, because yesterday he was able to drop the most damage out of every single player on his team, but he also had the lowest KD. That means he was dying a lot, giving up his life a lot. And when you're a player that's so talented like Shotzzy, you play at such a tremendous pace, you have to know how to play your life. So I'm looking at this guy to step up. And then on the opposite side for Minnesota, I want to be talking about Priestahh. In that kickoff match versus New York, he had a 0.8. And this is a guy who's the flex player for this Minnesota roster. He's basically running the best gun on every single map. He's such a talented player. He needs to step up today versus OpTic.
And it's weird, right, to see a player like Priestahh at times in these slumps. He had a similar situation to kick off Cold War where it felt like at times P-Dog was nowhere to be found. And there would be times where he would take over in series. I couldn't agree with you more, my friend. Some big players to look out for on both of these sides. But as it said, our Game Fuel feature player is going to be Shotzzy, which really seems to be the conversation primarily around this OpTic Texas roster, my friend, right? Because it's the whole conversation about how you have 2 pairings now coming together. Shotzzy still trying to adjust with this good old new SMG duo in Scump.
Yeah, him and Scump, they are scary on paper, but still, so far, at least throughout this season, they just haven't really got things going yet. They had a tough matchup, like I said, versus London. They just completely got caught off guard when it came to the slaying power of London. So now, they just have to expect anything, but you have to keep the fundamentals into play. And like you said, they have a great coaching staff in Rambo. Used to be one of my teammates. I almost got into a couple hand-to-hand combats with him because he used to argue with me over certain plays. So he's going to get these guys into shape. It's all about if they can execute the game plan.
Yeah, as somebody who previously worked at Envy, I've heard a few of those stories, and it doesn't exactly sound the same way that you portray them, Jay. But hey, who knows? It's Ray. You know, we absolutely love him. But still, this match is just a matter of moments away. OpTic Texas versus Minnesota Røkkr. As we said, both teams in search for their first win of the season. It's the first match for Minnesota. On the OpTic side, though, losing yesterday versus the Ravens, outslayed by a good 30+ kills. You're looking to see this team turn things around, but it feels like the entire chatter around this series, Stud, is about OpTic primarily in regards to, is this a must-win series? I'll pose that question to you. Is it a must-win game for OpTic?
I think it definitely is. If you're OpTic, you were really high in the power rankings before the season even started. And then you go to the kickoff, you don't get a great showing versus the LA Thieves. Then you come into your very first match of the season, and it still was a struggle, especially versus a team like London, who were probably dead last year. Yeah. OpTic, they have such a high ceiling with such great players. They just need to put it all together.
Couldn't agree more, my friend. Having a few delays currently in the game. We'll have to try to figure out all of those problems, so we do apologize for the slight delay. I promise it'll be minor. I'll have to DM somebody if I have to make sure that this game gets started on time. We're going to throw it through a quick little commercial break. When we come back, it is time for OpTic versus Røkkr. Stay with us.